So by the end of this video, you'll have 5 tools from Mindfulness-Based Stress Reduction to feel more relaxed, less stressed, and change your relationship to how you think and feel. And notice that much of our suffering is based on our thoughts rather than the physical sensations themselves. So let's get into it. So before we go into mindfulness-based stress reduction, I just wanted to say that the key foundational idea behind mindfulness is the non-judgmental noticing. So if you can notice a sensation arising, be that a pain, anxiety, a stressor, a thought, you're halfway there. So being able to notice or note and be with something and not see it as all-encompassing and taking over our experience is the first step to this. So mindfulness-based stress reduction is an 8-week program created by Jon Kabat-Zinn, which addresses depression, anxiety, chronic pain, and stress. So I'll be going into a few of those today and some of my own tools, and I hope it really helps you feel less stressed and more relaxed. So let's go for the first tool, which will be the body scan. So I'll give you a brief demo of what the body scan is, but essentially it's where you go through each part of your body and actively relax it one by one, usually starting at the head or starting at the feet, and you either go up the body or down the body. So you would pay attention to the top of your head, bring your awareness to that area and try and release any tension and relax. The same with then the face and the neck and the shoulders, down the arms, the hands, and then you would go from the chest down, just relaxing at a much slower pace than I'm doing now. But maybe you'd spend 10 or 15 seconds on each area, just noticing how it feels and then relaxing that area. And what you're trying to do here is you're trying to actually get in touch with your body as a whole rather than one specific part of your body. Because often when we're in pain or feeling stress, specifically in the body, we feel it in a certain area and it begins to take over our experience. But as you body scan, you can start to feel that there's more to your body than just one area, which I think is very useful. The second way I would use the body scan is to understand that there's parts of your body that actually aren't in pain or aren't feeling stressed. For instance, if you're feeling very anxious, it's usually in your chest or in your head. If you can take a moment to feel maybe your hands or your feet or your arms, it could actually relax you in the present and you would feel less uptight and tense as a result. Another reason for doing a body scan is it feels very good, it feels pleasurable, it feels relaxing. And to engage with a practice when you're either in physical pain or when you're very stressed that actually feels really nice and really comforting is a little island amidst all the chaos that could be going on in your body or the mind. The pain or the stress that you're feeling in these certain areas actually reduces quite considerably when you're not paying attention to it. So say you have, like I have, some neck pain and you're doing your body scan and you decide to spend some more time just focusing on the lower part of your body or your arms. And what it'll actually do is it will take your attention away from the part that's in pain, and then you'll naturally start to feel, oh, there's parts of me that are more relaxed, and it will naturally release some of those areas of tension because you're not putting your attention on them. Usually whatever we pay attention to, it amplifies. So we can also go into the painful area. So you could go in and focus on your neck, or if you have some issues with your hands, you could go in and focus on that area exactly. And as you start to go into that area, you would see that there's subtle differences between how we think about our pain and how we feel the suffering is one thing, and you start to feel the subtle, whether it's like a pinching pain or whether it's some form of like crushing stress. The subtle nuances between the differences there can actually take some of the impact away from them, and you'll see that it's not one thing, perhaps it's many different things, and there's this flux going on that we're calling one stress or pain. And finally, the body scan actually gives space between us and who we perceive ourselves to be, the thinker of our thoughts, the experience of experience, and the pain itself. So you can have that disconnection between I'm being in pain and there's pain and then I'm here. So if you have pain or suffering, so say you're very stressed about something, you're very worried about something that's going over and over and over, and you're feeling it in your chest, you're feeling your heartbeat, and you're feeling intense. And then you can scan through your body and have a bit of separation from yourself and from the intense feelings, and that distance will actually offer some relief, and you won't feel that you are your stress or your pain. So the second tool I would suggest you use is noting. Noting is very popular in mindfulness generally, where a thought, a feeling, a sensation, a sound, anything arises, and you would note it in an objective, less personal way. And what it does is it should stop the over-analysis and identification and thoughts that cycle and loop after your identified thought arises. So how I would use noting in this circumstance is I would note sensation rather than pain or rather than stress. And what that will do is it won't trigger all your thoughts and feelings and essentially suffering about the initial stress or pain, because most of our suffering is our dialogue about it. So if we don't cling to these arising sensations and we just leave them be as sensations, they won't hold as much power over us, and the natural half-life where they peak and then drop off should be much quicker than if they peak and then they start to drop and then we stimulate them by thoughts. So this is a very powerful tactic, and I would encourage you to use noting in your mindfulness practice generally, or if you want to feel more relaxed, just note things and see the difference between how stressed or how intense feelings can be, or how they are diminished by simply just leaving them as they are and letting them pass away. So the third method I would use would be essentially mindfulness. Mindfulness is accepting the present moment as it is, without judgment, without trying to push or pull it away. And this isn't a method of apathy. We're not accepting the present so we'll always feel like this. No, we're accepting the present as it is, not lingering on it. And then as we move forward, we can restart, we can begin again, as Sam Harris would say. There's always a problem to solve in life, you know, like there's always going to be a problem or an issue. It's not like you'll never be in pain again. So having this frame of mind, which is accepting and peaceful, which mindfulness can cultivate, will actually be the best approach you can have to move forward. So after accepting the way things are and understanding that the frame of our mind determines the quality of our life, and that we're in a better position to accept things are and then move on, I would employ the tactic which I use a lot myself, which is combining mindfulness with rational thinking. So the mindfulness side, notice the feeling or the sensation, be with it, try not to cling or push it away or resist it of any sort, and then have a little conversation with yourself and say, is this helping me? Is this serving me? How's it affecting the quality of my conscious experience? Is it holding me back? Is it helping me in my day, in my life, in this scenario that I'm in? And if it's not, try and let it go to the best of your ability. And notice that a thought is just a thought, a feeling is just a feeling. The more you attach to it, the more you entangle yourself with it, the worse you'll actually feel as a result. So the final tool isn't actually from mindfulness-based stress reduction, but it can certainly help you with stress and negativity and pain, would be compassion and loving kindness meditation, combining the two. So loving kindness meditation is essentially thinking and feeling more positively, more optimistically, in a kinder way towards yourself, to other people, and to people you're even feeling neutrally or negatively about. So how I would go about this in relation to pain or stress is you want to be with the negative feeling initially, and then try and change the wording, change the feelings, and introduce more positives, and see how that shifts the way you feel and your attachment to the negativity that you may have been feeling. So what mindfulness does is it gives us the space and the free attention and relaxation to then implement this cultivation of changing the way we feel. So what this will do is it will impact on our neuroplasticity, and the more we introduce positives, the more we speak to ourselves kindly, we accept, we become okay with this feeling, this sensation, and not beating ourselves up about how we could have, if we hadn't done this, if we hadn't played this sport, we wouldn't have this injury. If I wasn't so worried about this, I wouldn't be feeling so stressed. If we let go of these thoughts and feelings, we can then have the space to introduce the positive ones. And by introducing positivity and optimism, we can start to actually have a new default state of kindness, compassion, which will in turn reduce the way we think and the way we feel to be stressful and tight and tense, and we'll just act in a more laid back and peaceful way while still getting things done. So you can't think negatively or stressed at the same time as feeling compassionate and feeling positive and optimistic. So the more we can be in this realm of kindness and positivity, the less we will be in this realm of negativity and stress, which is a crucial fact to understand. So the way I would go about this is I would sit quietly in a meditative way or just in a normal thought-based way and start to think about somebody, perhaps somebody you love, and start to think, I hope they have a good day, I wish them well, I wish them all the success they need, and try and exude positivity towards that person. And as you start to think those positive thoughts, you'll start to feel positivity, and that will relax you, but also you'll start to cultivate this good energy, and then you can bring it to yourself, you can bring it to somebody you don't like, and this will start to switch over the tracks, as it were, and you'll go from this tight, tense, anxious build-up of negativity to this more open, relaxed. So what's the impact of all of these different changes we're making here? I'd say the impact is we're changing the relationship to our feelings and thoughts, to the pain or the stress or to what's ever appearing, and then starting to introduce a new way of thinking and feeling that's kind and positive and compassionate. So we're making changes in the moment. We're feeling more relaxed. We're using a body scan to relax our body. We're noting what's thoughts and what's just a sensation. We're accepting things as they are. And in the long term, we are cultivating a new way of being with the hope of feeling more consistently relaxed, less stressed, and connecting with our life, with the people in our life, in a more direct way, because we don't have this overlay of negativity or stress or angst that's actually blocking us from experiencing our life in a more relaxed way. And what would you prefer? What's the alternative? Would you prefer to go through life in a tense, built up, pent up way, or a more open, relaxed way? I know what I prefer to do. It's not easy, but I try to do what I can to take a moment, implement those tools, and feel more relaxed. And I hope all of these little tips and tools can come together to act as some toolkit to make you feel more relaxed, less stressed, and a bit more positive in your day-to-day life. And thank you very much for listening, and take care, my friends.